Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Tuesday, April the 19th. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. We thank Cap Space Wins Cups Andy for joining us yesterday on the Shifts and Pucks pregame show, chatting Canucks ahead of their game against the Dallas Stars, which they came away with a pretty massive 6-2 victory. And so we had that conversation. So check that out as well. And we'll be talking Flames tomorrow, guys. They're have clinched a playoff spot. They've clinched home ice advantage and are in the process of clinching first place in the Pacific Division. Where are they at? What is expected? The big question is how much you play. Not only Markstrom, which will be the big one, the how you play the rest of the players, deploying that lineup. Uh, who are the six defensemen? Daryl Sutter said that there were three that weren't playing as well since the All Star break. So lots still to talk about with the Flames as well. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Devin and I will be doing that. So, but let's focus on tonight. Both the Canucks and Flames are in action. We'll start with the Canucks. They're playing the Ottawa Senators, second of the back-to-back. As mentioned, the Canucks coming off the 6-2 victory. Yaroslav Halak will get the call in goal as looking like Bruce Boudreau says he watched what happened with UC Saros going back to back, didn't want to take the chance with Thatcher Demko, so Halak will go tonight. And Ottawa, as far as lineup notes from the Ottawa Senators here, not seeing anything too much yet. They lost to the Kraken last night, and so they're coming in looking to get that out of the way there. But getting responding from that, at least they're not going to be. Of course, they're not making the playoffs or anything like that. We know that, but they're still going to want to get some victories there. Um, but I don't see any too much lineup news at this particular point in time. Uh, there for the Senators. The Canucks now, though, as we look at the standings here, and Canucks come in with the win and last night 38 28 and 10. They have 86 points. They are 1 point behind Vegas with one game in hand now on Vegas. They have won six in a row, while Vegas, who was stunned by the New Jersey Devils 3-2, are sitting at 87 points. So the Canucks are 5 points out of the wild card spot and 4 points out of third place in the Pacific Division. So they still have two paths to go to get into the playoffs. A win tonight continues to keep both of those paths open. The Ottawa Senators, of course, are out of the playoffs. Alex Chiasson, late scratch with a non-COVID illness, is a game time decision as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that's the Canucks story. The Flames are in action tonight against the Nashville Predators, a potential first round matchup, but that we could be looking at here. It's looking like UC Staros will get the start in goal for the Predators. Not sure who's going to play with the Flames, and that's one of the questions. How much do you play Markstrom? How much do you play Vladar? Is this a game you play Vladar? You don't know. Nashville, I mean, they're still fighting for a playoff spot. Let's look at it that way. For them perspective, they come in 43, 28, and 5 with 91 points. They've won 5 of their last 10. This is the first of 2 games that they will be playing on Tuesday. The last 2 Tuesdays, Calgary will come back to Nashville next week. Calgary coming in 47-20-9 with a 103 points, coming off the 5-2 victory over Chicago, where Johnny Gaudreau got his 600th point. So no news or lineup notes there as of yet. Who's going to start with the Flames? But their magic number is now 1.5 to clinch the division. So if they win tonight, it basically comes down to Edmonton cannot catch Calgary in regulation wins. They can catch them in wins, but not regulation wins. Flames have 42. The Oilers have 35 with 6 games left. So the Oilers would literally, in terms of a tiebreaker, the Oilers will literally have to beat them out in points, and the Flames have 9 ahead. So that's looking like the Flames wrap that up as well. Although the Oilers are one of the hottest teams, not only in the last 10, but a top 5 team in the last month here. The Oilers are playing very well. They've won 2 in a row, but they're not playing tonight. So, but we'll get to the game tonight. Austin Matthews will not play tonight when the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Philadelphia Flyers. Sorry, I have baseball on the brain. The Leafs, of course, trying to wrap up second place in the Atlantic Division. They've won 3 in a row. They are 6 points ahead of Tampa Bay, with Tampa Bay having 1 game in hand. They are also 9 points ahead of Boston. Those 2 potential playoff teams for the Leafs. The Flyers, of course, are out of the playoffs. Minnesota taking on the Montreal Canadiens tonight. That's actually Vancouver's next opponent. Minnesota are now at 101 points. They're sitting in 3rd place because the St. Louis Blues have won 9 in a row. 47, 21, and 7, 101 points. They have clinched a playoff position. You got Detroit taking on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, of course, sitting in 3rd place, as we mentioned, with 100 points. We've got the Winnipeg Jets taking on the New York Rangers. Andrew Kopp and Morgan Barron, that trade, a reunion. The Jets, if they don't win if Nashville wins tonight and Winnipeg does not, that looks like that. That would not be curtains necessarily for them, but they would. It's going to be tough. To catch Dallas. They are 10 points behind. Dallas has 39 or 29 regulation wins. Winnipeg has 28. So Winnipeg has to go completely on a run here, and Dallas has to completely fall flat for it to be possible for them. So we'll have to see there. The Rangers are battling for first place in the Metropolitan. They are 2 points behind the Carolina Hurricanes, who are without Freddie Anderson. So that's an interesting matchup there. We have the Florida Panthers, who have won 10 in a row, taking on the New York Islanders. They're at 114 points. They are at 54 wins this season. The Panthers are. And we've got Boston taking on St. Louis. As mentioned, St. Louis has won 9 in a row. They have scored 4 more goals in 12 straight games. Vladimir Tarasenko was the number 1 star of the week, so the St. Louis Blues are hot right now. We've got LA Kings taking on the Anaheim Ducks. So an interesting game for scoreboard watching for the Oilers and the Canucks on both ends. The Oilers are trying to wrap up home ice as well. They're 4 points ahead of the Kings and have a game in hand. The Canucks here right now, as we've talked about, 4 points behind the Kings. So we will have to see what happens there with that one. I think a win impacts both the Oilers and the Canucks as well. And a loss would impact both the Oilers and the Canucks as well. And then finally, the Columbus Blue Jackets are taking on the San Jose Sharks. And there is a signing out of San Jose I just wanted to touch on here. Another college signing, as the Sharks need to restock the cupboard and reload all of that. But Strauss-Mann has signed his first NHL contract with the San Jose Sharks. He is a goaltender. He spent last season in Sweden, former University of Michigan, a hockey standout. Last season in Michigan was 1.89 goals against average, .930 save percentage, and 5 shutouts in 21 games played. So Strauss-Mann joining the San Jose Sharks. As far as other news here. Freddie Anderson's out at least 1 week here with a lower body injury for the Hurricanes. He sustained that injury in the third period of the 7-4 loss to the Avalanche. And so Antti Ranta will made 23 saves in the win yesterday against the Coyotes. Peter Kochetkov was recalled from Chicago of the American Hockey League. Looks like Carey Price should get the start tonight when Minnesota takes on the Wild, or the Canadians take on the Wild. So this will be Carey Price's second start of the season. Price said this is going to be a day-to-day type of thing. So we see a couple more games. Who knows for Carey Price? We're taking that day at a time. Bruins, David Pastrnak and Hampus Lindholm will not play for the Bruins on their 2-game road trip. They are expected to return to the lineup before the end of the season, though. Regular season, Pasternak's missed 6 games with an undisclosed injury, and so we'll have to see about that. Lindholm has missed the past 5 games with a lower body injury. But Bruce Cassidy says that the plan is to get them in as early as possibly this weekend. And Brock Busser came back. Of course, he had 3 points last night after missing 5 games with an arm injury. Pettersson and Besser had 3 points each, leading the Canucks to that win over the Dallas Stars. So that's what's going on there. Marcus Foligno was placed in COVID protocol. He will not play tonight when the Wild are playing the Canadians. And then they have back-to-back home games against Kraken and Canucks and Kraken on Thursday, Friday. Connor Murphy will not play again this season. He sustained a concussion more than a month ago. And Dylan Larkin looks like he is out for the rest of the season. He had surgery as well, but he is expected to be back for training camp. He had core muscle surgery, so Dylan Larkin will be us the rest of the season for the Detroit Red Wings. So again, WHL playoffs will start on Thursday. That will be the Lethbridge Hurricanes taking on the Edmonton Oil Kings. That starts Thursday. The rest of the games start on Friday. Across again, if you missed it, Lethbridge will be taking on the Oil Kings. We've got 3-6 Brandon Wheat Kings taking on the Red Deer Rebels, Saskatoon Blades, Moose Jaw Warriors, and then the 8-1 matchup is the Prince Albert Raiders taking on the Winnipeg Ice. In the West, we've got the Vancouver 8-1 is Vancouver 8 versus Everett 1. Spokane Chiefs taking on the Kamloops Blazers. Prince George Cougars taking on the Portland Winterhawks. Kamloops Blazers Kelowna Rockets taking on the Seattle Thunderbird is the 5-4 matchup there. So that's what's going on with that. BCHL action. We've got and some other news. By the way, Connor Bedard and Matthew Wood, some of the names mentioned to the Canada U18 squad. Tanner Howe was also mentioned in that as well. Here, the Matthew Wood has led the BCHL in scoring with 85 points, goals of 45. He was a first-team All-Star and a finalist for the League's Most Valuable Player award. He's committed to the University of Connecticut. First player in the BCHL to suit up at the U18 since Alex Newhook played in 2019. They start that tournament against the Americans on April 23rd. Roster includes we've got Tanner Howe in there. I mentioned Connor Bedard. Braden Sherman will be involved in that. Matthew Wood, as mentioned, is a number of players there as well. There, Owen Pickering. We've got Graydon Siteman from the Calgary Hitmen, Kalen Parker from the Victoria Royals, Lucas Dragovic from the Tri-City Americans, Ryger Lorenz from the Okotoks Oilers, so Josh Philman from the Swift Current Broncos as well. on that list. The goaltenders on the list, Ethan Bonifaciera of the Calgary Hitmen, Reed Dick, who stood out well in the Prospects tournament game back in last month for the Swift Current Broncos, and Nolan Lalonde for the Erie Otters. Tom Rennie, of course, Chief Executive Officer. Head coach will be Nolan Baumgartner. Assistant coaches include Corey Chevrier, Todd Miller, David Struth as well. So that's what's going on with the U18 team. But as far as the playoffs in the BCHL here, we've got we had one game last night, and that was of course, the West Kelowna Warriors beat the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. Sorry, we had two games last night. West Kelowna beat Salmon Arm 4-1. Salmon Arm scored first in the opening minute, but West Kelowna scored 4 straight. They have the clinched the series at home. They're up 3-0. And the Nanaimo Clippers beat the Chilliwack Chiefs 2-1. Keegan Gary scored twice, including that one in overtime. And Cooper Blackstop 35 of 36 shots. So the Clippers have a chance to sweep that series tomorrow for Game 4, which is tonight. And Penticton beat Prince George. Sorry, there was 3 games. My apologies. Penticton beat Prince George 5-3. And Spruce Kings were also now on the verge of elimination. So those are the games that are going on today. We've those 3, as well as one more here. We've got Alberni taking on Langley as the other game as well. So busy night of BCHL hockey as well. So, but that is the news for today, Tuesday, April the 19th. You can follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beardy Canucks 03, Devin Gordhow 09, Tyler TNOBLE, Christian Schneid's SCHNEIDZ. I am KEVULE. Shifts and Pucks on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.